Folks, today on the Stoney Ridge Farm channel, we're working with solar panels, we're working with pipe, we're working with air, and we're working in the pond. Today we're installing a solar aeration system from Conder's Water Solutions. Come along, let's have some fun. Stoney Ridge Farm. Woo! All right, folks, welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. If this is your first time here, your 50 millionth time, please hit that like button. I know some of you guys have watched 50 million times. We've got 120 million views. That's awesome. So right over there, whoop, is our biggest pond. It's about 2.5 acres. We just put a floating dock in that pond, and we have a flow roll-in dock on this pond. We'll be using that dock to get out into the middle of the pond here in just a minute. Where we're gonna put our aeration system and our solar panel is gonna be just about right here. We've got to stretch everything out and make sure we have enough tubing. We're going to show you all the materials, and there are a few different tools you're going to need. You're going to need a screwdriver. You're going to need a 13 millimeter, a 15, just a socket set basically is all you really need to get this done. And a bucket and a plastic duck. What the heck? A bucket and a plastic duck? Well, we need a bucket and a plastic duck for. So I ordered a mallard decoy. He's pretty cute, and he's going to be a permanent resident in the pond. I actually ordered a 6-pack of them so we can change him out in case he gets crusty. Now, this is all the material that we're going to need for building this project, and it's a pretty quick project. I'd say probably an hour to an hour and a half install. If you watch this video, it might only take you 20 minutes. So here's what we have. This is the pump system right here. This is the tubing. So this tubing is not weighted, and this tubing is weighted. I think we got 100 feet of tubing here and 50 feet of tubing here to get it out into the pond. Okay, it's a weighted tube so it won't float. This has air in it. It will float. So if we use the non-weighted tubing, it's going to float across the top of the pond. This is some of the bracketry that will go in behind the solar panel. Right here is our solar panel. It is a 160 watt solar panel, 9.25 amp open circuit solar panel, and all of our wiring and everything is included in this solar panel. We're also going to be using this post right here. So this is a 2-inch diameter steel galvanized post. We're going to drive the post right here. We're going to run the water line over here, the air line over here, and the power over here, and that's going to run right out to the pond. You can trench this in after the fact. Just come back in here and dig a little trench. It doesn't have to be buried super deep because it's air, it's not water. So without further ado, I got to hop up on the rack of the four-wheeler, get the post driver on here, and we're going to sink this post, and our solar panel needs to face due south, which is that way. So first thing we need to know is how long our electrical cable is on the back of our solar panel, and I'm looking at it and I'm gonna say we're probably 15 to 20 feet long. Where we place our aerator box, that big blue box, needs to be in an appropriate place so we don't have to mow around it and it doesn't float off if we get a flood. We're standing in the overflow spillway portion of my pond right here, so we want to make sure that it doesn't flood and wash that dude away. Remember, we have to go down the post and over to the solar aerator, so we may be a little closer to the aerator than I think. And I'm going to say we're at a 12-foot long cord right here, and this is the power cord that powers the solar aeration box. The aeration box, which is this guy right here, weighs about 45 pounds, maybe 50 pounds, is going to have to sit pretty much right at the base of our solar panel setup. So we're going to drive our post down in the ground. So cross your fingers that I don't hit a rock and have to pull the post back up and reset it. Well, let's grab the post. We're going to pull the four-wheeler up and we're going to drive it in. This time of year is not a good time of year to be in tall grass in North Carolina, and I see signs of muskrats all in this pond. I have got to solve this muskrat issue. If you have a pond and you have muskrats, the sign that you're looking for is floating debris. Floating cattails. They like to eat the bulbs on the bottom of the cattails, and little trails like this guy right here. So right up through there, that's a trail. It's a muskrat trail going right through there. You can see it just plain as day. It comes right through here. So we're going to set up some conibear traps and try to get rid of these muskrats and make us some moccasins, baby. Post driver. This is a Colpin rack, and Colpin does not recommend that you stand on it, but I'm doing it. Here we go. Oh, that ground is so hard. Let's put it right in the middle of the muskrat path here. I am wearing flip-flops every day. You don't have to farm in cowboy boots. guess it's going in. Yeah. Woo! Dang. Tell my post is out of level immediately. Nice morning workout here. Oh, I'm on a rock, totally on a rock. Let's check level. Good. Not good. Okay. We're in there, pretty stout. I want to make sure I can get by this with a mower without hitting myself in the face with a solar panel. So the next thing we're going to do here is get our solar panel and build out our solar panel rack. I brought the instruction manual down just to show you guys. This is the DC 200 model, and the instructions read very, very simply, very easily. Again, from Conder's Water Solutions, and a huge shout out to Conder's for supporting the channel and supporting rural content here on social media. Tells you basically everything you need to know, including the angle, 60-degree angle for summertime and a 10-degree angle for wintertime. Very lightweight. This thing weighs probably 15 pounds, 18 pounds. Having a buddy to help you do this might be something that you'd want to do. I'm just going to use my imaginary friend today, just myself. This is all about pond building. This is a pond series that we're doing here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Just checking this all out, see how it mounts up. Laying it in place first. We'll get our screws. All of your parts and stuff come in a little nice Ziploc bag. This is very well packaged. It came on a pallet in the back of a tractor trailer, so you can get it delivered to your farm or rural property or even in the city. Install everything loosely first. We take a bolt just like this with no washer, put it up through. That holds it in place. Then we take a flat washer and a locking washer and put that in place. Just put the lock washer in first. Flat washer, lock washer, nut. Loosely installed right now. We don't want to put it together very firm at first. We want to put it together nice and loose. We're going to take our nuts and our lock washers. This is a 14, I believe it's a 14 mil. Yep. Conder's Water Solutions is out of Canada, okay? There'll be a link down the video description for you guys, and hopefully they'll give us a discount code. If they will, that would be awesome for us. If they won't, then that means you're getting the best price right off the website. Super simple, so simple. That's all the 14 mil. Now we're gonna do the 11 mil. Once we get this guy centered. Be gentle, this is aluminum or aluminum, whatever you call it in England. So just be gentle. Sturdy, good to go. That's our mounting bracket for our solar panel. Now we've got to put the post mount on here. My brain tells me to loosely install the post mount, then set it over on the post and then tighten everything up. So let me grab that. So this is our post mount. It basically just slips right over the post. We tighten this guy down so we can aim it whatever direction we want to. And by loosening these little U-bolts, we can aim the direction of our solar panel. And we're going to go, again, due south. I'll probably get my phone out and just double check what due south is, but I pretty much know already. When you have a piece of property like this, you learn what's north, what's south, what's east, what's west. It's just part of it. Simply put this guy in place. You can get this with 2 solar panels or 1 solar panel, or I think as many solar panels as you want to run. We're just doing the 1 single solar panel here, and we'll get plenty of sun right here. We don't want to over aerate our pond. In other words, we don't want to shock the pond by over aerating. There are numerous videos out there of people shocking their pond by over aerating their pond property. We need to be centered, and that's about as centered as we're going to get. You can use a ruler if you want to. You can measure your 60 degrees however you would like. I am going to just go straight up and down right here, and we're going to call that right around 60 degrees. You can measure it on your phone, so we'll fine-tune, adjust things after we get done here. Right there, Nice. Daddy likey. Perfect. So that's right at our 60-degree mark. We don't have direct sun right now. We've got a little shade over top of our head. That's okay. I'm not worried about that at all. That's about our 60-degree mark. That's due south. We're gonna go ahead and snug down our lock bolts on our solar panel. After that, we'll take our cables and some cable ties and we'll run the cable down the pole and I'll show you a cool little trick. Finger tight, 14 mil. Bam. So I've got some zip ties. I've got a Data Shark zip tie gun. This is an indispensable item. It takes that sharp edge away from a zip tie. Let's go ahead and start organizing our cables appropriately here. Our Data Shark, we grab right here. Very simply, pop it off. Takes away that sharp edge for a zip tie. It's important. The zip ties turn into little razors. And our trash bucket. This is the pump setup right here, and basically we're just gonna set it in place. I think I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get a couple cap blocks and I'm gonna put it up on cap blocks so it's not sitting directly on the ground. Anything sitting directly on the ground runs a risk of getting damaged a little bit more than if it's sitting up on some cap blocks. Our power cord is right here. We just simply push it in. I wanna see if it's running right now, if it has enough sunlight to run it. And the answer is yes. Perfect. Let's set this guy up here. So we are getting a little bit of power. We don't want that to fall down in the mud. We'll set it up there out of the way. Here are your air connectors, and here is your weighted line from Conder's Water Solutions. I'm gonna string this out along the edge of the pond real quick to see just how far it will stretch out. Hopefully it'll stretch all the way to the dock and we can just chuck it right off the dock into the water. Okay, we want to make a drip loop. In other words, water doesn't need to run into this. It needs to drip off of this. So this is what we would refer to as a drip loop. We don't want to run it straight up because if water does get on it, it will track right in and go right inside here. This is a watertight seal also. This is our air hose. We're simply going to press it on there and we can put a hose clamp on once we decide where we're going to be. We're going to stretch this guy all the way out and unreel that roll all the way out along the edge. So I only got 50 feet of this. 50 feet is enough to get it almost to the dock. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and use the hose that doesn't sink and we're gonna get it all the way out here and then we'll pull the whole apparatus over into the pond. So we need to make a few little measurements. This is probably gonna be the most time-consuming part of this job. We morph our two tubes together. These guys have to go together. There's a kit included in here with hose clamps. All we simply do is press fit our little press fit barbed connector. Here, drop on our two stainless hose clamps and then mash this guy in. That connects those two together. This is not a high pressure system, guys. Understand that. We are not holding back 60 PSI. We are making bubbles. Woo-hoo! That's all we're doing. Snugged up, nice, it won't pull apart. That's all we're trying to do here is keep it from pulling apart. So the next thing we've got to install is our aerator right here. Let's make sure everything is nice and snug and secure on this. Again, this is not a high pressure system. This is a stone that the air bubbles will come out of. Just take our Gerber center drive and snug this guy down. Now, we don't want to pull on this. We don't want to hook this up and be snugging and jerking and snapping and pulling on it. So we want to make sure that we don't damage it. And how that's going to happen is we're going to drop this into a bucket. I've got a black bucket and we're going to drop it in the bucket and that bucket will go down to the bottom of the pond and it will be tethered to the plastic ducky I showed you a little bit earlier. So let's go over and get on the dock. You can see our solar panel is way over there. We're gonna pull our hose to where we want it. And a little bit more. This is why it's important to get things dialed in good. There we go. And tighten that clamp. Okay, right here is where it's gonna go. just right off the edge of the dock here. If I want to put it out a little bit further later on, I can go get a boat and do that. So I'm gonna take my barbed fitting and I'm gonna press that in place. Now, this is double safety. I don't know if they recommend double safety measures, but I'm gonna tie a string down to the bottom of this stone, nice and snug. And that way I have 2 safety measures. We'll probably put 2 of these ducks out here at some point. Just gonna tie a granny knot on here. We're gonna take that string and we're gonna actually tie it to the handle on the bucket. This is a dock from Flow Docks. This is not wood. It looks like wood, but it's not. We're gonna tie on to the wire on our bucket. Gonna drop this guy down in the bucket. Gonna give her a heave-ho because we don't want bubbles right off the dock. We want bubbles out there just a little ways. Heave-ho! Cool. Now we'll tie off to our plastic duck. Super simple. Pond is only about 7 feet deep, so we'll cut this string off. And this is just a duck decoy. I'll post a link, or you can order it from Conder's Water Solutions. This is a mallard. You might want to get a native species to the area that you live. That's what I did. Chuck the duck. Bam. Now let's go fire this puppy up, see what she does. All right, we got duck, we got bubbles. Awesome, guys, check that out. So that's what we're after. We're just aerating the pond. We're bringing oxygen up into the pond. That is our duck, and anytime we need to retrieve this, we just find the duck and pull the aerator out, and we'll clean it. You'll probably have to do a little maintenance, maybe clean it once or twice a year, something like that. That's where the bucket comes into effect. So the bucket keeps it off of the bottom. You could put some stones or rocks down in the bottom of the bucket if you like to, instead of dipping it in the water like we did. And you could get it way out in there wherever you want it, okay? So you don't have to have it right off your dock. In case you want to do some fishing, you can have it way on out there. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna be treating our pond. Again, this is Conder's Water Solution, Nature's Pond Conditioner. It's an all-natural 4-season water conditioner for all seasons. This will help clarify your water. It says it creates clean, clear, and healthy water, enhances natural color of the water, reduces pond sludge, improves water quality for healthier fish and livestock. It's safe and effective. Billions of beneficial microbes in this per gallon. So the microbes go in and clean your pond up. When we put the aerator in, we pour this right on top of where the aerator is, and it helps to disperse this. We're not trying to turn the pond blue or purple. We're trying to condition the pond so that we have the best chance of having the most aquatic life here and the healthiest aquatic life, and good water for our livestock here on the farm. We've got 50 cows on the farm, and sometimes we irrigate out of this pond, and sometimes we pump to a water tank right out of this pond. So without further ado, 2.5 gallons treats, I think it said 2 acres. This is about a 3/4 of an acre pond-ish, something like that. So we're gonna pour in about 1.25 gallons. If we're in a boat, we'd do it right off the boat. You just pour it right on in. That's it, to about the halfway mark, and our pond is treated. Check this out. Now, after the pond has been treated for a few days, we're gonna let this cycle, we're gonna let it circle through the pond, and basically the wind will carry it and the water aeration system will carry it. Those microbes will start doing their work. Then we'll come in with pond dye, and we'll show that to you in a future video. The next video in our series on the ponds is gonna be putting in a windmill aeration system on the big pond over here. So we put the floating dock in over there, and we're gonna put the windmill over there. We put the roll-in dock right here, and we put in the solar. And the solar's right over there. You just hear it chugga, 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 just pumping. I would suggest that you don't have that right next to your back door, because it's gonna make a little bit of noise, and you don't wanna hear that. It's little diaphragms in there. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me. That's the pond, that's the project for today, and that's the bubbles. We're aerating the pond and having a good time, hopefully improving our aquascapes here on the Stoney Ridge. Thank you, guys. Take care, have a great day. Subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you back here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. There'll be videos at the end of this. Check them out. Check out that dock install. That was really fun. So come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. It's gonna be out and turn your radio down. So the new style, just drove by, the new style of truck nowadays is to put a loudspeaker on the outside of your vehicle so everybody can hear your horrible music. These guys are practicing to be ice cream men, I'm pretty sure. So, way to go, Carolina squat. I kicked my booty. Brackets are gonna go in there, and we don't have the other bracket because I'm an idiot and I forgot it in the shop. I forgot to bring the rest of the rack. Aluminum. Where are you? Post bracket. And left that sitting up in the shop too. Dude, not again. Come on, man. Got it together, bruh. And I forgot that in the shop too. I'll go back and get some more tools. Guess who's back with his tools? Paging, sir, drops a lot. Dr. drops a lot. Please come to the solar panel. Dr. drops a lot. Perfect. Okay, let me get on my phone. I don't have my phone. Are you going crazy? Yes. This hose clamp are very big. That tick on my back of my leg are very big. Cross my fingers that I don't get soaking wet. A lot of air.